Hi crafters, this is Crafty Sabby and I'm back today to share a flip through of a journal that I just finished. Before we do that, I just want to wish all my fellow Canadians a happy Thanksgiving. It was a little bit different celebrating this year, but nonetheless, I hope that you all had an enjoyable day and maybe got to go outside and enjoy the leaves and the fall colors. And with that being said, I hope everybody is doing well and taking good care of themselves. So yeah, I haven't really been coming down into my craft room very much. Been really busy with work and that sort of thing. But I wanted to get this journal done. So it's more like a file folder envelope sort of thing. I'm not even too sure what to call it. But it's a sewing theme and I like the way it turned out. And really quite pleased with it. So I used my porch prints. I got this kit and I printed it out. It's called So Sweet Journal Kit, I believe. And so again, porch prints. And I used it pretty much throughout the journal, except for some pages that came out of old sewing books and knitting books and that sort of thing. So they were all vintage and I used those throughout. And so this is the front. It's really quite thick, but that's because the middle is one giant signature, let's say, or flip out. So on the front I used an envelope that you get with part of the kit. I didn't put anything in it right now, but I will. And so that flips up there. And then inside the pocket, I left it open at the top. And I inserted some of the extras that you get. So I also kind of got addicted to, I watched, I believe, a video from Artie Mays, I think it was. And many others are using this, the beeswax, and turning regular papers into sort of like a vellum almost. And so I did that with a few pieces that I put in here. So this one too has a really beautiful feel to it. You can almost see behind it now. Yeah, and so I love it. So I went on Amazon and bought myself, I kept the bag so I could show you, but this is the bag that it came in. White beeswax pellets, and it's, I got 1 pound. I don't really remember how much I paid for it now. I'd like to say 13 or 16, possibly $16. So not so bad, and you know you really get quite a few. That's maybe you can see on the side there. It's maybe a little less than halfway full, but you only need very few to create that sort of vellum look, and it's now my new favorite thing. So anyway, so that's just a little dangle that I put on there. This is just a little tag that I created. A lot of my tags that I made have some of that old book page from some of those old books regarding sewing and knitting and that sort of thing. So I backed them all with something to do with that. And there again is the vellum. And just put all of those tucked back into this pocket. And then when you flip it open, the first page is basically created with a giant envelope that you can unwind this, and I left the flap here open on the side. This is going to be kind of awkward to show, but, and you can put stuff in there. I haven't because the journal just got so bulky as it was. But the intention is there to be able to put something in there. But I'll start again. So just open that up, and then on the first page here is sort of a side pocket that I created using a piece of the paper from the kit. And there you can see the envelope. I really didn't do too much to it because I liked the way that looked. And then inside of there is this is also a piece of paper from the kit. Very pretty. And I love sewing things. I think most of you know that. If I have a chance, I always try to do something in regards to sewing. And then, so here are some pages. It's a little booklet. So here are some pages from some of my old books that I have. That's crochet. And then there's blank pages in here for writing. And then, whoops, this is to do with embroidery. There's an envelope in there. Charlie, stop please. That's my puppy, Charlie. He's not a puppy, he just turned 5. But he likes to nudge things with his nose to get my attention. Charlie, stop please. And so lots of writing paper. So I just created that little booklet to go inside there. And then I made a tag. I just put some old pattern tissue paper on there and covered it up. I attached an envelope from the kit on there, leaving the top open. And then I created this little tag. I just put some book page on there. And then there's another little tag on there. And I attached some lace and pins. There's a couple of needles in there. And then buttons. And I put the buttons in the place where you wouldn't jab yourself on the needles. And because I did that already. And I attached some thread onto this little piece of ephemera here. And I love the way that tag turned out. Really pretty, really fun. And then I backed it with some paper. And that goes into there. And the whole thing goes in here. So then this is the really big middle section. So on here I just lined this little pocket, both little pockets, with I just fitted it with a piece of paper from a book that I have. This one says cross stitch and this is needlepoint. And inside each pocket is a tag. I also took this image from a book I have. I put some paper on there and lined them. There's some layered doilies with a button on there. And same thing for this. And then when you undo the lace here, and here, these flip open, and I just line them with some paper on the back. And these are two airmail envelopes, vintage airmail envelopes. I did some coffee staining. This paper was already a beautiful color because it's super, super old. And then I just did a little bit of coffee staining on it. But there's a few sheets of lined paper to write on, covering the envelope. And this flips open. And the same thing on this side. This flips open. And then inside the actual envelope, I just lined it with some old paper, are some tags that I made using some, there's paper there, there's some lace. I don't think this particular piece here is vintage, but some pieces off of a wedding dress, I believe, and a little pull tab here made out of some lace. And those just fit nicely into there. And then same sort of thing on the other side. There. And then on here I have made some pockets, and I tried to use the same piece. This is a very old piece of paper that I had out of it's a book page actually on directions on how to transfer color motifs, and then sort of gives you a little diagram here. So I was able to cut the paper to keep it sort of intact. So if you wanted to read it, you really could. I just glued the top part there, sort of the middle section, and everything just matched up so nicely. I love the way that turned out. Kind of worked out in my favor. And just created some of my own little tags. And those just fit in there. Like that. And that closes up. So I won't tie them both up because it'll just take too much time. Actually, that wasn't so bad. Let me do it while I'm here. Okay, or not. That's where you get fumble fingers when you're trying to hurry. And then on the side of the pocket here, I left it open, so there's a little pocket. And inside that pocket is another book. And this one has some old, that's vintage. This is a copy of a vintage page that I have regarding how to make boys' toques. As that's what we call them here in Canada. That would be just a hat. But soon we'll be needing to get those out. It's getting cold. So that's just some paper from the kit that I got. This was some packing paper that came, we got it at work, just a lot of packaging, like paper, and it's got a really nice yellow tint to it, and then I coffee stained it. And I put that in here. And so it's just paper all the way through. And so that fits down the side here. Like that. And then when you flip the whole thing over, I attached another sort of envelope here, but I left it open to unfold, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So we'll just untie this, and I just love the way that turned out. The paper is absolutely gorgeous, stunning. So you untie this. And that flips up. And that flips down there. This flips open. And inside, so this is a paper clip that I made. Okay, so this flips open, and this was another envelope, and so it flips down. So this original thing was an envelope. So I attached another envelope to it that came from the paper collection. And then this opens up, and there's just some extra writing paper inside there. And I lined it with some old paper. And that flap there just has a lace pocket on it. And inside of the lace pocket are just these two cute little tags. And see if I can get that back on. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble. Okay, just there. And then on this side, this flips open. And this flips open. And this is the envelope. I actually just unglued the front of it. So that's the actual envelope opened up. And then inside of it, I just attached some different papers. That's vintage lined paper. I got some copy stain paper, some homemade paper there. I didn't make it, but it is homemade, lined, some ledger. So a few different things throughout. So it gives you a nice place to be able to write or take notes. And then I lined that whole envelope with some book page out of one of the books that I have. And that closes up like that. I think I had this on this side, maybe that's why. Yeah, that's a little better there. And then this flips up here. I just felt like breaking free from the regular journals that I'd been making. I watched a few videos on, you know, making journals with envelopes and flips, and I got the urge, so that's what I did. It is rather thick. I have to come up with maybe a better way to sort of hold the whole thing together, but this is just for my own purposes, and I do like the way it came out in the end. And then the last page is this little pocket here, has a tag inside, and I velcroed it down, and it just flips all the way down like that. And then this is another airmail envelope here. So I just lined it with some paper from the kit, and this opens up. So this is an actual airmail envelope here. So you could journal on both sides there. And this is the inside. So I just lined the front there. I used some paper in the inside there. I turned it into a pocket. So lots of room there. There's some extra ephemera in there. And a little envelope from the kit with a tag inside. Which does not want to come out right now. There. And then on this page here, this is another envelope, and I just put a window in it. You can see the glare there. So I just cut out a square and put a window in it. I lined it with a piece of paper. I made this giant, this really is a giant tag. It's probably like one of the biggest tags ever. Almost 4 3/4 wide by 7 3/4 long. So it says quilting on it. Just did a little bit of stitching Did some crazy stitching along the edges. This is actually a piece of paper from a quilting book that I had, and I lined it with some book page and left the top open here so I could slide that in. And then that flips over. And on this page, I created 3 pockets. Well, there's actually 2 pockets there. And added, so there's another piece of, I used the wax on there, so another piece of vellum. I love it. Love the way it feels. Some ephemera. And a little book that I created. Just a bunch of different papers in there. And in here is just like a file folder type piece of paper. And I just put a few extra bits in there to write on. And that just slides in there. And then I used a bit of washi tape in here. I just used my Distress ink all around the edges, but mostly made of envelopes. So that's what I thought was kind of neat about the whole thing. So that closes up and that closes up. I've got magnets in a few different places too to sort of help keep things down. So that just folds up there, and this flips up, and that's it. And then that's the back page. That's the side. And that is it. You know, a little chunkier than I had hoped, but I had a lot of fun trying to build it and put it together. And like I said, the kit made it very easy because I love the sewing theme and just kind of worked out well. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. If there's anything that you saw in there that you would like to see me do, any tags or anything, just let me know. And leave a comment. Let me know how you guys are doing, how everybody's feeling. And we will be back soon, I hope, with another project. You guys take good care of yourselves, stay healthy, and be well, and we'll talk to you all real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.